Tonight on The ReidOut.
Where are you, Nancy? We're looking for you. Nancy. Oh, Nancy. Nancy. Where are you, Nancy?
The chilling sounds of January 6th. Where's Nancy? Happening again. Not in the People's House this time, but in Speaker Pelosi's own house. Her husband, Paul, brutally beaten with a hammer by a maniac with a reported history of posting extreme right-wing memes and conspiracy theories on social media. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is getting ready to re-inject those dark online forces back into the veins of Twitter, which he now completely controls. And we begin tonight with a shocking development in the political extremism that has loomed over the midterms. Early this morning, an assailant attacked Paul Pelosi, the husband of Speaker Nancy Pelosi, at the couple's home in California. Mr. Pelosi, who was home alone, was hit in the head with a hammer multiple times. The assailant was reported to have shouted, "Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy?" during the attack, according to a family member traveling with Speaker Pelosi today. The assailant told Paul Pelosi, that he was going to tie him up until, quote, Nancy got home. The incident has restoked fears of the rising tide of outright political violence that we're seeing in this country, where masked and armed individuals dressed in tactical gear stake out ballot drop boxes, where election workers face harassment and death threats, and where, apparently, political disagreement resulted in a foiled domestic terror plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Violent threats against politicians are at a record high. In the first quarter of 2022 alone, Capitol Police opened more than 1,800 cases. A tragic reminder that the insurrection didn't go away. It never ended. In fact, it's as if the attacker in San Francisco was seeking to finish the job of those who attacked the Capitol and who stormed those buildings, calling out her name, screaming obscenities, and making it abundantly clear that besides the vice president, Speaker Pelosi was the other main target they had come to hunt. Prosecutors say the most graphic statement uttered by any rioter that day was about Speaker Pelosi. The statement being, quote, "We were looking for Nancy to shoot her in the freaking brain." Well, they didn't find her. Instead, they ransacked her office. Pelosi later detailed the trauma that her staff endured to 60 Minutes.
The staff went under the table, barricaded the door, turned out the lights, and were silent in the dark.
Under the table
For 2.5 hours.
Dangers like that have struck even closer now, at the Speaker's personal home. Mr. Pelosi underwent successful surgery to repair a skull fracture and serious injuries to his right arm and hands. His doctors expect a full recovery. But Speaker Pelosi, who Republicans have for decades turned into a hate object, is once again a target, and she will remain one, because a faction of Americans have decided, screw elections, forget democracy. They're going to take this country by force. Whether you call it domestic terrorism or a surge in partisan violence or the rumblings of a demographic and religion-based civil war, these threats, this determination is popping up everywhere, to the point where just 11 days before a crucial midterm election, violence against the House Speaker is what we have to talk about tonight. It is an extraordinary assault on the promise of America. And yet, some Republican leaders, like the classless book-banning governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, chose to make fun of it.
Listen, Speaker Pelosi's husband, they had a break-in last night in their house, and he was assaulted. There's no room for violence anywhere, but we're going to send her back to be with him in California. That's what we're going to go do.
California Governor Gavin Newsom called Youngkin's comments pathetic, while also saying in a statement, this heinous assault is yet another example of the dangerous consequences of the divisive and hateful rhetoric that is putting lives at risk and undermining our very democracy and democratic institutions. Those who are using their platforms to incite violence must be held to account. Joining me now is Congressman Eric Swalwell of California and former FBI official Frank Figliuzzi, MSNBC national security analyst. I do want to go to you first, Congressman, because the threats against lawmakers have skyrocketed. And January 6th seems to have only made it worse, up 144% from 2017, when Donald Trump was inaugurated, to 2021. It's become almost epidemic. You yourself have faced them. What do you make of what's going on in California?
Yeah, it was always inevitable.
What went on? I should say what went on. Sorry.
It was always inevitable this was going to happen, and that's so sad. I just want to first wish Paul Pelosi a swift recovery, and for your viewers to know, that this man is a generous, kind, charitable soul, someone who loves his wife dearly and his children. But I remember talking to Paul on January 6th, once we were allowed back into the Capitol, and I went to the Speaker's office to see how the staff were doing, and I saw Paul consoling the staff because he was at the Capitol as this all had gone down, and he's such a sweet and kind man, and so for this to happen to him, as inevitable as it was, it's still something we can never accept. But these threats are on the rise, and I have to tell you, we have to draw the straight line between what is happening on the ground as these threats become centralized to decentralized from January 6th to spread out across the country, the straight line of Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, others in the MAGA Republican Party who glorify violence, and their leader, Kevin McCarthy, who says nothing about it and does nothing to stop it. If that's the environment he's going to create, it's a green light to every assailant out there to use violence rather than voting to carry out your political will.
Let me just play that. You mentioned the staff. This was an interview that I did with Speaker Pelosi, and that was the first time I met Paul Pelosi. He's a very nice man. And this was back in January of 2021.
Now, I don't know if you've been able to see the video in which you can hear people screaming your name. Yeah. Where's Nancy? Looking for you, hunting you.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I would react to that. How do you react to that? How personal it was toward you?
Well, I was actually more thinking about my staff and my colleagues who don't have the protection that I have.
I'm going to do back to you for a second, Congressman Swalwell. The staff members, these are young people that experience this violence. The Speaker was concerned about her staff. She was hiding, too. She was the target. But I think people forget that this is metastatic violence that is impacting everyone and every member of Congress. And again, you face these. You've gotten these death threats yourself.
Yeah, Joy, today, the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York received a guilty plea from someone who had threatened me, my staff, and my family, and there's other cases that are ongoing. But our family and our staff, they sit or live on the X, so to speak. Members of Congress like the Speaker, like myself, we're constantly in motion. We're in our districts, we're across the country helping other colleagues, we're overseas, fulfilling our committee assignment work. It's our staff who sit like sitting ducks at the office, and it's our family members who are most often and regularly at the residence. And so, my wife naturally today said, what are we going to do now? It's clear that it doesn't matter if you're here or not. They're going to come for the family. And we just cannot be a country where, as I said, violence is preferred over voting.
And Frank, let me bring you in here, because I think this terrified anyone who's in Congress. It must terrify anyone who's a public figure who's been a hate object made by the right. I mean, I just want to show you just a scroll of what Republicans have turned, showing themselves armed into a campaign strategy, essentially making it sound as if the way to defeat wokeism and liberalism is to essentially become a warlord, to arm yourself, to hurt someone. That has become a meme inside the Republican Party. And to the congressman's point, the leadership of that party has not tried to tamp this down. Whatever statements they're trying to make today, they've encouraged it as a political strategy. And now election workers are at risk. They're having to get panic buttons just for election workers who get paid almost nothing to do election work. We're at a point now where our politics has become, at least for Republicans, civil war. This is not sustainable. Your thoughts?
This is what happens, Joy, when you demonize the other. When you take their humanity away, you make violence not only possible, but likely. That's where we are. And the GOP members who've come out today and offered support and good wishes for Mr. Pelosi can't do that kind of thing on a Friday and then come back on Monday and do the same thing again that they've been doing, which is incite, inflame, encourage the kind of violent act we saw happen today in San Francisco. It's why the DHS and FBI just today issued a brand new joint intelligence bulletin where they've warned all of us, especially state and local law enforcement, that the midterm elections could bring more violence. They speak repeatedly about the rise of domestic violence extremism, and it is about as broad a warning as you can see because it includes almost everybody, including you and me as voters going to polling places. It says those places are vulnerable. It talks about candidates who are very exposed and accessible. It talks about lawmakers. It talks about all the various affinity groups and the issues that are inflaming people today. So we're put on notice, as if we needed that notice, that even our highest level of government is now extremely concerned about the next few weeks that we're already into.